Hello everybody, welcome back to another edition of the EcoStruxure Machine Expert training. I'm your host, Leandro Umada, and in this video what we're going to see is how we can download our application to a Modicon M262 via Ethernet. So let's go to the presentation. So the first thing that we need to have in order to connect to the controller is the gateway. So in order to have the gateway, we need to install from the Schneider Electric software installer this feature, machine commissioning and maintenance, that will have the controller assistant in case we need to upgrade the firmware or downgrade the firmware, and also the gateway. So once we have this, it's important to know if the PLC is brand new, which is the actual IP address, so we can connect from our laptop to this equipment. So in front of the PLC we have this amount of ports, Ethernet port 1, okay, and these two ports for the Ethernet port 2. Next to the Ethernet port 2, okay, here we have some numbers, okay. The first one on the left is the MAC address for the Ethernet port 1, and the second MAC address is for the Ethernet ports 2, these two. So based on that, we are able to identify this. Let me just put the band. These numbers over here, so we can identify the device in our network. So we need to remember this part and this part for each port, because if we're going to have a new PLC, okay, or after the firmware upgrade and we haven't specified any post configuration, this is going to be the default, okay. So we need to remember this. Now in this example, I have this controller with this MAC address, okay, and for example in the Ethernet port 1 I have this configuration by default, and in the Ethernet port 2 I have this configuration, okay. One useful thing is that you need to check the fourth last digit of each MAC part, okay, and then using the calculator you can easily change from hexadecimal to decimal, okay, and these are the values that you can use over here, okay, simple as that. So once you have this, okay, it is important to configure your laptop in the same network, otherwise you don't have any communication. So this is an example how you can configure your laptop, okay, using the control panel. So if you go to Windows and select control panel, it's in the other window here, we just need to go to network and sharing. In the network and sharing, you just go to change adapter settings, and here see if I can change the view. You need to select which is the one that you have with the connection, okay. See if I change to the view, this one. You need to check the connection that you have, okay, with the PLC. Go to properties, and in properties you just need to find the TCP IP version 4 properties, and here you can specify your IP address. Here is important that the IP address that you assign here must be different from the one that you have on the CPU. If you have the same, it will create a conflict, okay, so you need to add it over here. Another possibility that you can do here is to go to advanced. So in advanced you can add a different network, okay, so you can add a different configuration from the same port, so you can communicate after the download of the PLC. So in that case I have this one, 192.168.116. that will be the new IP address that I want to send to the controller, okay, in the same network. And here is for the actual IP address, the default IP address. So once you click OK on this, you just go to the command windows, which is the CMD, and here you can ping the device. So in my case it's going to be 10.11.98.114. don't remember, let me see if it's that one. 98.41. see, just hold a minute. 98.141. So I have the communication with the device, okay. just to validate that we have the communication. So if we go back with the presentation, I already explained this part. If you go to advanced, you should be able to add more stuff. So if we continue, we have already configured the port and send the ping. Okay, so now what we can do is to change in the configuration. Okay, if you want a different IP address, we just need to go to the device tree in our project and select the Ethernet port 1 and 2 and change the IP address to the one that we want if we use fixed IP address. If you want to use boot P, that will depend on the MAC address. Okay, you can use boot P. If you want to use DHCP to assign from the server the IP address, you just need to change this network name, okay, to use the DHCP. Let me just double check with you. Okay, I have my controller, okay, in the device review, and the Ethernet port 1, I have this configuration with fixed IP address and Ethernet port 2 with this IP address. So now what is important here is that this IP address, Ethernet port 1 and 2, must be different. If you have the same, for example, 163, okay, this will create a conflict, okay, and you cannot do this. Okay, it might be in separate networks, Ethernet port 2 and 1. So let me just check if I compile, receive an error. I guess I received something. Yep. So if you compile, you can see it must not be in the same network. So I'm going to change this one, the one for 0 and 62. The other thing that you need to check is that these COM bus also must have their own network. Okay, so let's compile everything again, just to delete the faults. Okay, that's good. So let's carry on with the presentation. Then, once this is already finished, okay, we just need to double click into my controller to access to the communication settings. If we are not able to see the device or here in the list, then what we can try is to use the connect mode as IP address fast TCP, assign the IP address, in your case the default one, and then proceed with this in order to have the connection over here. Okay. Then, if it's the first time with this controller, you will receive this certificate that you will need to allow in order to connect, and then the user management, you will need to assign a user management. Okay, so you will need to create a user, okay, as here, and the password, and confirm the password. And remember to double check if you write it right or not. This one is for the version 2.x. If I'm not wrong, okay, in the version 1.2, you don't have this possibility to create a user and password. You just need to define first this. You need to log in with this administrator with the first letter in capital. Okay. Then once you have this, okay, you should be able to see this message: connection succeed, and the target will appear over here. Okay. So let's try to do this. So in our case, or in my case, the target is already in there. So probably if I want to do this, we're going to receive an error. Okay, what we can do, if it's already here, we just can select node name. So node name selected, double click, it will add the node name directly to your to this field. Okay, and then we should be able to connect. Login. Okay, we want to log in. You should read that carefully, and then here I'm going to create the users. I'm going to use administrator. I can use something else, but I just get used to administrator. Administrator. Okay. Administrator. Okay. So now that the user rights are already created, now it's time to log in to the controller. Administrator. You want to log in? Yes, I want to log in. Okay, so as soon as I log in and administrator, I try to download our application. I got it wrong, sorry. Administrator, let me just copy administrator, copy paste. Okay, I think I got it wrong. Okay, just bear with me a second. Okay, let's try to that's the thing that happens when you don't write it right. So I'm going to use a SD card to change the firmware of the controller. This happens. I need to change the firmware of the controller. Okay, just bear with me. That's important to write the password. Well, okay, so just wait for this to finish. Please download the firmware. If you have different firmware and you need the latest version, this is the process. Just use the SD card with the files of the controller system. In my case, I already have those files. Okay, so just wait. It has already finished. So let's remove the SD card. It will start automatically. Okay, just give them a few seconds and let's try to ping the device once again, just to make sure of this. Okay, just wait for this to finish. Now what I'm going to do as soon as it's just come back to life, I'm going to use a different password and user just to make it right this time. Just wait for this to finish. The cable is there. See the LEDs. Should be in a second. There we go. So let's try to connect once again to the controller. It's the same, the default IP address. Connect, activate the users, LTA, LTA, LTA. Let's double check this again. Perfect. Okay. LTA, LTA. Yes, I want to connect to this node. Yes. So I don't have any application inside the controller. Okay. There's currently no application on the device, which is good. So we just download our actual application. Yes. Want to download the application. You should be able to see over here at the bottom that is downloading something. Okay. And as soon as it finishes, it should disconnect from the controller. Change the IP address. Okay. But the connection here is no name. So let me just double check if it's going to disconnect or not. Okay. Let's see. It's downloaded, change the IP address as you can see over there, and the connection to the device is disconnected. Okay, so I had downloaded a new application to the controller that was empty. So now if we ping the device, okay, so 192.168.162, I have the connection with the controller. Okay. So now we should be able to connect again. LTA, LTA, okay, okay. And now that you have the load application, it's time to run the application. So you can see here at the bottom, the application is run. And if you need to stop, you can go over here to stop it. Okay. And if you need to run, you have also this start online. Okay. And you have debug, start again. And if you want to stop it, stop. okay? And the other thing is that before the disconnection, okay, we just need to log out with this one, log out, or online log out. Okay, so this is how you can perform the download of the application. Let me just recap and see if I forget about something. Okay, so this is important, that if you're not able to see the device on the list, okay, it's important that you add the connection mode as an IP address fast TCP, and add over here the actual IP address that you have of the equipment. Probably you're not seeing it here, and this part, don't touch it. There is no need to touch it. Okay, so once you have this, let's see if I forget about something. When it is added, you just need to double click over there and connect. It should be fine. Okay, you should be able to read this carefully, okay, and then press Alt F in your laptop. In this way, you should be able to log into the controller and add your credential that you have already defined. Okay, in my case, at the beginning it was administrator, but I believe I did it wrong on the way, and I changed that to using the firmware update using the SD card to reset everything and start with LTA. Then you should be able to log into the controller as I show you. I already showed you this part. There is no current applications because it's empty, okay, after the firmware, and if it's brand new also. And then once you try to connect with the controller, okay, that's something I didn't show you, okay, is the different status. So imagine that you have your application, okay, which is fine, which is the application I just have. So what we can do here, as I show you also in the part of the USB, I'm going to add over here a new POU, and I'm going to send this to the controller. So I have made a modification in my application, and I'm going to download again to the controller. Okay, login, and then this new message will show up. So in the controller, we have two different memories. We have the RAM, and then we have the non-volatile area. Okay, when you download your application with download, it will write your binary code of the program in the non-volatile area. And then when the PLC starts, it takes this data of the non-volatile area and put it on the RAM. That's going to be banished as soon as you power cycle the controller. So if you make an online change, you are not changing the application on the non-volatile area. So as soon as you power cycle the controller, if you have done an online change, if you have, for example, application A here and application B, when you power up the controller, the application A is going to overwrite or whatever you have over here in the B for the A again, the previous one that you have. So it's important that you make a download or update what we call the boot application, okay, so you can make sure that the next time that the machine is going to be power cycle, you have the application that you want. So if I make a login online change, okay, there is an internal variable called PLC_R. I'm going to show you over here. I'm going to show you later how is this watch, but you will need to check this one. The boot project status is telling us the information about the non-volatile area. So in this case, it means that the application that I have online is different to the one that I have on the flash. So what we need to do is the next time is to use the download and select the boot project, or we can go over here online and then to create a boot application. So as soon as you do that, here in the different project line, create boot application, you should be able to see a different value now. Valid boot application. So it means that the next time when you power cycle the controller, the application that is on the non-volatile area will go to the online. Okay, that's the main reason behind. So let's see if I don't forget about something. This was very important. I almost forgot to do that. So another possibility is when you make the login with online change is to select the update the boot application. So that will valid also. You can see over here, these are the two status. Update boot application, you will have this different, and if you select that, you have the valid boot application. So let's see if I forget about something else. I have already explained this, how to log in, to log out. Okay, and here's one of the important things. So if you receive this message, encrypted communication failed to initialize, it means that you probably need to uncheck this. Okay, and the other problem that you may have, okay, is that the version that you want to connect with the controller is different. So in that case, okay, what you need to do is to check which is the actual firmware that you have. Okay, so here you can see that you have the version 5.1.6.3. So you could check that with the controller assistant, okay, which are the firmwares that you have valid in order to connect. So let me just open the controller select assistant. So if you open the controller assistant, you can check in here the different version they have. So if you buy a PLC and you have this firmware version, okay, over here, and you're using the version 2.0, here you can see the Machine Expert, this version belongs to the Machine Expert 1.2. So as soon as you want to connect, you will receive some message like this. Okay, the selected is this one, but the online is this. So you will need to make the process as explained before, how to upgrade the firmware so it match the one that you have. Okay, so let me just double check something. I don't want to just want to make sure I explain everything for this part. Okay, so we have already in this part. Check the configuration. Okay, log in into the controller, download the application and check if it's right or not, and log out from the controller. So that's the thing that you need to check. Okay, so if we go back to the application, we have already explained all of this, how to make the connection, and make sure that if you don't see the controller over here, add this one IP address and try to add it, okay, using this button over here. So type the IP address that you have, 192.168.162, and select test just to make sure. But if you already have it, okay, so that's why you have this, you can double click on this one and select not name, double click, and then you should be able to connect once again. Okay, that is how it should work. Okay, so this is how you can make the connection between your laptop and the controller. Okay, so remember to use the FastTCP if you don't have the controller on the list. If you already have it, just double click on it and then you can select by knob name to easily connect. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I see you on the next one.